Today for Virtual Magic Club, we are going to be using a pair of scissors, some tape, and a piece of paper. Here we go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your piece of paper and we're going to fold it long ways like this. And then we're going to fold it long ways again, making creases in the piece of paper like that. And then you're going to take your scissors and cut a strip of that paper. Matter of fact, while we're at it, and it doesn't have to be perfect, you might as well cut another one as well, because we will be using 2 of these strips of paper. Once you have 2 strips of paper, your tape, and your scissors, you're ready for class. All right, here we go. Virtual Magic Club. So you should have your pieces of paper, your tape, and your scissors, so you're all ready for class. This is what we're going to do first. You're going to take one of those pieces of paper and a piece of tape, and you are going to make a loop out of that piece of paper. So we're going to put that tape on the end, and we're going to make a loop. Now, once you have made a complete loop like this, you're going to cut straight through the middle. And let me ask you, when you take your scissors and you can fold it like this in half and create a little cut, and then I want you to open it up and I want you to cut the whole way around the loop. When you do this, what do you think the outcome is going to be? As soon as I snip the rest of the way through, what do you think I'm going to end up with? 2 loops, right? Let's see. Yep, 2 loops. Don't worry, that's not the trick. But that's what we get if we do that, right? So let's do it again, but this time we're going to do something a little bit different. So I want you to take your piece of paper this time, and I want you to prepare it by putting a piece of tape and try to get enough tape to go all the way across. Do you see how that did not happen for me right there? So I'm going to grab another piece of tape to make sure that I have tape going all the way across my piece of paper. There we go. Now I've got it, just like that. Now, instead of making a loop this time, what I'm going to do is I am going to twist the paper and then tape it together. So now we have this paper that's still a loop, but it's got a twist in it. You see? So that's what you should have done. You've got a loop with a little bit of a twist there. Just half a turn of that paper before you tape it down. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a little more tape and I am going to tape on the other side of the piece of paper as well, because I want to make sure that those are together really well so they won't come apart, and it's taped on both sides all the way across. Now, if I do the same thing I did before, do you think I'm going to get the same outcome? Let's find out. I'm going to take the scissors and I'm going to cut a slit again. Now, we're going to take the scissors like a race car driver and we're going to cut straight down through the middle. Here we go, scissors inside. And I'm going to cut. Now it's a little bit different because of the loop, because of the twist, so I'm going to try my best to cut straight through. There we go. It looks like I'm about to do it. When I cut the rest of the way through, do you think I'm going to end up with 2 separate loops again, just like last time? Or are we going to have something different? Let's find out. I cut the rest of the way through. I don't see a second loop anywhere. And it turns out I actually have 1 larger loop. Look at that. Just by putting that half a twist in the paper before I cut it, instead of getting 2 totally separate loops like I did the first time, I got 1 giant loop. So What do you think would happen if we do it again? So I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to put that little slit in there. And I got to make sure really carefully this time that I cut it, because my paper's getting thin, that I stay right on the track like a good race car driver, straight down the middle of the track. Here we go, going all the way around the loop this time. Trying to stay right in the middle and make sure that I don't go off the track. A little more complicated because the paper keeps trying to get in my way. But I can do it. Here we go, cutting all the way around. I'm almost there. You gotta be careful to make sure you don't accidentally cut what you cut before. Okay, I'm about to do it. What do you think's gonna happen? Am I gonna end up with an even bigger loop this time? Or am I gonna end up with two separate loops again? Let's find out. I cut the rest of the way, and believe it or not, now I have something totally different. I have two loops that are linked together. That's two totally separate loops that are linked together. It'd be easier for you to be able to see exactly what I have if I kind of straighten out this loop a little bit, and I'm just going to bend and fold the paper just a bit, and you can see there's one loop. Okay? And then it made like two figure eights locked together. This one's actually around the first loop twice. Look at that. It wraps around the first loop twice. So there's one piece of paper, and here's the other. That's the impossible loops. Today for Virtual Magic Club, we are going to be using a pair of scissors, some tape, and a piece of paper. Here we go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your piece of paper and we're going to fold it long ways like this. And then we're going to fold it long ways again, making creases in the piece of paper like that. And then you're going to take your scissors and cut a strip of that paper. Matter of fact, while we're at it, and it doesn't have to be perfect, you might as well cut another one as well, because we will be using 2 of these strips of paper. Once you have 2 strips of paper, your tape, and your scissors, you're ready for class.